Hey, welcome back to the Storage 100 series. This is day 13, and I am Joe Downs with the Self Storage Mastermind. We're tackling a big one today, or at least a big one for a lot of people: the truth about passive income and self storage. Here's the thing: the term passive income is often misused in real estate. It makes people think you can just buy a facility and money is magically going to appear. That is a fantasy. Self storage is a business, not a bond. We need to set realistic expectations right now. If you want true zero effort passive income, you should probably stick to REITs or index funds. But if you want the high returns and tax benefits of self storage, you need to understand the spectrum of involvement. So let's break down where self storage actually sits on that spectrum. And where it lands depends on your approach. So this spectrum shows you the reality of the time commitment versus the return. Truly passive is on the left, fully active on the right. Notice that true passive income, like REITs, requires almost no time, but the returns are generally lower. On the far right, though, you have things like fix and flips or apartment ownership, which are incredibly time intensive. Self storage, when you own and operate it yourself, is definitely on the active side. It's a business you run. But there are ways to move it further left on the spectrum, and that's what we're going to explore tonight. First, let's look at the most common path: active ownership. Active ownership is where most entrepreneurs start in self storage. You own it, you run it, you keep all the profit. This is full control, but it's also full commitment. You're the CEO, the marketing director, and the collections agent. You're going to spend 5 to 20 hours a week, definitely more like 20 in the beginning, managing everything from pricing to property maintenance. The upside's huge. You get 100% of the profit and the direct tax benefits, which is why a lot of us get into real estate. You learn the business inside and out. The downside, though, is that it's hard to scale and you can't truly step away for long periods because you are the bottleneck to scaling. This is best for people who want to be hands-on and build operational expertise. But what if you have the capital but not the time? Well, that's where the passive syndication comes in. If active ownership is too much work, passive syndication is the opposite end of the spectrum. And this is the true hands-off investing. You're a limited partner or an LP. You invest your capital, and the sponsor or operator does all the work. Your role is simple: wire the money, review the quarterly reports, and collect your distributions. That's it. Your time commitment is maybe an hour to a month, which is why busy professionals love this model. The trade-off, though, is you give up control, and the sponsor takes a significant cut of the profits, usually 20 to 30% or even more, depending on the deal. You also need to be comfortable with your money being locked up for 3 to 7 years. I know our deals are usually 3 to 5. And most importantly, you must vet the operator carefully. All that being said, there's a middle ground that many experienced investors move toward, and it gives you control without the daily grind. And this is what we call maybe the hybrid approach. It's often the sweet spot for scaling. You own the asset, but you hire a professional third-party management company to run the day-to-day operations. You keep the strategic control. You decide on major capital improvements, financing, and overall pricing strategy, or at least approve it. The management company handles the daily grind, the marketing, the tenant calls, the collections, and the maintenance. Your time commitment drops dramatically, usually down to 2 to 5 hours a week, reviewing reports and approving decisions. Yes, you pay a fee, typically 6 to 10% of gross revenue, but that fee buys back your time and gives you professional expertise on site. This is the perfect model for out-of-state investors or anyone who wants to scale up to multiple facilities without being a full-time operator. Okay, so that's 3 approaches to ownership and management. But now we need to start set some realistic expectations for what each model actually demands from you. And this is important. You need to know exactly what you're signing up for before you jump in. Active ownership is a part-time job, plain and simple. You're spending, like I said, 20 hours a week, more like 20 in the beginning, on operations and tenant management. The hybrid model cuts that down significantly, maybe to 2 to 5 hours a week, and you're focused on oversight and strategy. And then there's the passive syndication, and that's the closest thing to truly passive, just an hour or two a month, if that, reviewing reports. But keep in mind, the capital requirements also shift. Active and hybrid need a big down payment and reserves, whereas passive syndication has a lower entry point, maybe 25, 50, 100K, and you don't have to worry about reserves. The expertise you need also changes with the model. So you need to be honest about your skills. So you have to decide what's the right path for you. Well, since you asked, let's use a simple framework to match those requirements to your personal situation. And this is where you're going to stop dreaming and start planning. You got to be brutally honest with yourself about your resources. Your available capital is the first filter. If you only have 25, 50, 100K, you're probably looking at a passive syndication. On the other end of the scale, if you've got 500K or more, you've got the flexibility for whatever you want to do: active ownership, passive, hybrid. You name your vehicle. Then you have to look at your time, though. If you have less than 5 hours a week, you almost have to choose passive or third-party management. If you have 15 plus hours a week to dedicate towards self-storage, then active ownership is a real possibility. Your experience level matters a lot too. If you have zero real estate experience, I'd probably start with syndication to learn the industry. Get yourself into and definitely get yourself into a mentorship program. Do not try to do this alone with no experience. If you have some business experience, you could jump into active ownership, but again, get a mentor or a partner who knows the business. And finally, you have to ask yourself, what are your goals? If you want maximum control and the highest potential returns, then you're looking for active ownership. If you want steady cash flow with low involvement, then maybe you're looking at passive syndication. Knowing your path is great, but we can't ignore the potholes either. Let's look at the common mistakes people make. Most people get tripped up by these four. Don't be one of them. The biggest mistake is believing the mailbox money hype. Self-storage is a business. It requires management, either by you or by someone you pay. There's no truly passive income without giving up some control of some of your returns. Control and some of your returns. That's just reality. Another huge mistake is the undercapitalization of your investment. You need operating reserves and you need a budget for improvements. We call that CapEx. If you buy with minimal cash, any small hiccup could force you into a distressed sale. Don't do this without reserves. Choosing the wrong investment model can be a killer. So don't choose active ownership if you have no time to give. Don't choose passive syndication if you crave control and want to make all the decisions. Misalignment either way is going to be miserable every time. And please don't skip the learning phase. I mean, that's why you're here in this series, hopefully, but jumping into ownership without understanding underwriting or operations is an expensive education. So now that we know what to avoid, let's talk about some next steps. All right, we've covered a lot of ground in the Storage 100 series so far. We're a baker's dozen in, and now it's time to put a little bit more knowledge into action. And this one's simple. First, you just have to assess your own reality, your resources, both money and time. And you got to do it honestly. Calculate your available capital, your realistic time commitment, and your current level of experience. Then use this decision framework we just covered to choose your investment model. Is it active, hybrid, or passive? You can't move forward until you commit to a path. This is the moment of decision for you. Third, take the next step based on that decision. If you choose active or hybrid, start connecting with brokers and mentors right now. If you're choosing passive, you should start researching reputable syndicators and attend their investment webinars. All right. If this series is saving you from making a costly mistake, please hit the like button. The algorithm needs to know you want more real talk and not just guru hype. It also tells me I'm doing okay. Make sure you subscribe. By now, if you've been listening, you know why. But I feel like I have to tell you in every episode because this could be your first. So why do you subscribe? Because about every 2 weeks, I'm going to go live and you're not going to want to miss it. So you're going to get the notifications. And when I go live, it's going to be a deep dive. It's going to be a recap of the section of the business we just covered. And I'm promising you right now, I'm going to have some guests on that are experts in the business. You're not going to want to miss them. All right. And plus, you'll also be notified for the daily drops like this video. All right. Please share this with someone who still thinks passive income means money magically appearing while they sleep. They will thank you later.